Will the Bengals win 3 straight games for the first time in the Zac Taylor era? Hi again, everyone. I'm James Rapien with allbengals.com and Cincinnati Bengals Talk. And we're just a couple of days away from Bengals Chargers at Paul Brown Stadium with major AFC playoff implications. Cincinnati enters Sunday's matchup with a 7-4 record. They're the 5th seed in the AFC. Meanwhile, the Chargers 6-5 in the 7th seed. So winning the tiebreaker in this playoff race is going to be huge. And obviously, the winner of this game will have the tiebreaker between these two teams. What I'm going to do is give you a few keys to victory for the Bengals as they try to make it 3 straight. And who knows, maybe move into the division lead in the AFC North, depending on what happens with Baltimore and Pittsburgh this week. Plus, I'll give you my prediction. And currently 5-6 on the year. It's been a rough start. Or it was a rough start, but we've won back-to-back games from a prediction standpoint, as have the Bengals. We'll see if we can make it 3 in a row as I drop my prediction in just a few minutes. But first, a few keys to victory, and it starts with the Bengals offense to me. And I get it, Justin Herbert and, all of their weapons. I'm going to get to the defense. But offensively, and I talked a lot about this on Wednesday, and you heard from Zac Taylor, you heard from Joe Burrow this week. Make sure you check out those videos. They're multiple. They can beat you any way you really need them to right now because the offensive line is getting the push in the running game that we really haven't seen them get in a while. And when you mix that with the wide receivers and the way they're blocking, the tight ends, the way they're blocking, Joe Mixon, 58 carries over the past couple of weeks. They've ran for 300 plus yards as a team. He had 165 yards last week and, 4 touchdowns in the past 2 games. So naturally, if you can get Joe Mixon going, it's going to make everybody else's life easier. It's going to make Zac Taylor's life easier playbook wise. It's going to make the defense's life easier because they can sip Gatorade on the sidelines. And obviously it's going to make Joe Burrow's life easier and the offensive line's life easier as they try to keep number 9 upright. So that's the first thing. Can you keep the momentum going with Joe Mixon? Now, I'm not forcing it, though, if I'm Zac Taylor, because the Chargers, given how the Bengals have won the past couple of games, they might put 8 in the box. They may say, Derwin James, you go down. We're going to abandon this too high look that we normally do. I don't expect that, but Brandon Staley might opt to do that. And if they do, that's fine. Hey, Jamar Chase, go deep. Deep, Boyd over the middle. And that's the part, is this offense needs to be a well-oiled machine. It feels like they're hitting their stride. It feels like they should be able to score early and often against a team like the Chargers. The Bengals have scored 31 or more in 5 of their last 6 games. It should be 6 of 7. That's my expectations. They need to hit 30 plus this week, and I think they're capable of doing it. But if they're going to, getting Joe Mixon going certainly going to help. If the Chargers commit and sell out to stop him, that's fine. That's honestly, that might be almost a best case scenario because you get to let Joe Burrow cook and do what he's done. I mean, they've won the past 2 games and he hasn't topped the 200-yard mark, which he's fine with. But we'll see what the Chargers do. I do expect them to run a lot of 2 high safeties and not completely sell out against the run, which means the Bengals are going to have to get pushed in the run game. And part of that's going to be the health of this offensive line. And 2 guys, as I record this on Friday afternoon, that haven't practiced this week, Riley Reiff and Trey Hopkins. I've been told, and Zac Taylor on 700 WLW, you can read his exact quote, by the way. I posted it at allbengals.com. Said, look, those veterans don't have to play, or practice rather, to play. And that's where I think they're at. I think they're trying to give them as much rest as possible so they're as close to 100% before they do play against the Chargers. But it is worth monitoring because if Riley Reiff can't go, then it's Isaiah Prince against Joey Bosa. And while you're going to give help if you're Zac Taylor and Brian Callahan to either guy, you're not going to put them on an island against Bosa. You certainly feel better about Riley Reiff if he's close to 100%. And then Trey Hopkins, does anybody want to bank on Trey Hill at center? I know I don't. And so that's part of it. And that's no knock on Trey Hill. He's a 6th-round rookie who's trying to cut his teeth in the NFL. Trey Hopkins is more reliable and has shown flashes the past couple of weeks of being the Trey of old. So offensively, if those guys play, try to get Mixon going. If they try to take it away, all right. Hey, it's Chase time. It's Higgins time. It's trying to get that deep ball going. And I don't think that the Chargers will necessarily do that. They're kind of built to make quarterbacks be patient, make offenses be patient. But the thing is the Bengals have done that in recent weeks. So I wonder if Brandon Staley has a wrinkle or two like that to throw him off a little bit. And then the other thing here is big play wise, I think they're going to have to generate a couple explosive plays. And that means getting Jamar Chase in space. Maybe it's the deep ball, but if not, probably a slant or something like that. Obviously, T. Higgins had a big play last week, so other guys are capable of making big plays. I could see this being a Tyler Boyd game, but offensively, the Bengals should not be stopped in this game. Derwin James, be aware of him, be aware of Joey Bosa, and then read what the Chargers are doing and go from there, because they have to pick their poison, and you can beat them with the way this offense is played. They should be able to beat them one way or the other. Maybe both, especially with Joe Burrow under center and the way he diagnoses opposing defenses. On the flip side, this defense needs to find a way to get some heat on Justin Herbert, and I think it's much easier said than done. He's not chucking it down the field as much as he did last year. It's been much more of a let's not dink and dunk, because I'm not going to say that, but it's much more of a New Orleans Drew Brees style offense, given where the offensive coordinator came from and everything like that. So that being said, I think that you're going to have to be very, very leery of a lot of these guys. So one, Justin Herbert has a cannon for an arm, can run it very well, is big, is extremely athletic. To me, as of right now, remember what Trevor Lawrence looked like in week 4? I think he's the better version of Trevor Lawrence. He's the upgraded version. And Lawrence might get there, by the way. I think there's a lot of things that he's dealing with in Jacksonville. But right now, the way Herbert's playing, I think he's that plus some. Plus, he's got great weapons around him. And I think it starts with Austin Ekeler. He's going to test these linebackers early. He's going to test them often. And it's up to Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt. I almost said Akeem Davis-Gaither, but Akeem Davis-Gaither obviously expected to miss the rest of the year. And Jermaine Pratt to stop or at least slow down Ekeler, because he's a freak. I think he's the best pass catching back in the NFL today, with Alvin Kamara dealing with multiple injuries, Christian McCaffrey dealing with multiple injuries. If you're taking a guy, probably going to be Ekeler, given what he's done this season and how dynamic he is out of the backfield. But it's not just him. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Jared Cook over the middle, they have weapons. So if you can get some heat on Justin Herbert, I think that's huge. Obviously, game script matters a ton. So can you get off to a quick start and take a lead and put your defense in position to breathe a little bit, versus the other way where they're on their heels and Justin Herbert's got the offense going and he's moving up and down the field? You don't want what happened in week 4 to happen, where you give up 14 early and you're looking up and you're staring at 21-0 in the face before you start to rally. This Chargers team is too good. They're too talented. Some thought they were dark horse Super Bowl contenders. So the Bengals favored in this game by 3.5, depending on where you look. I get it. I understand it. I think it's going to be a tight one. I think it's going to be a really weird game where you have some turnovers, 3 to 4 turnovers between both teams, but a lot of points. It's no knock on the Bengals defense, by the way. I'm just expecting a decent amount of points in this one. I expect Mixon to get going. I expect the Bengals offense to produce some big plays, and they're going to produce one more big play than the Chargers and win it. Give me the Bengals 38-34 in a wild, wacky, crazy Joe Burrow versus Justin Herbert round 1 type of game. The NFL is really going to regret not flexing this game when they see how it is, and CBS playing it in most areas across the country. There's other games being played, but not many at that 1 o'clock spot. It's mostly from a country-wide experience. Most of you are getting Bengals Chargers, and that means that the Bengals have a shot here to show the country what they can do and give everyone a look at what these new Bengals are like. So it's a huge game for playoff implications. It's a huge game. Joe Burrow, Herbert, plenty of storylines there. And obviously the Bengals want to get Joe Mixon going. Can they get to 3 straight under Zac Taylor for the first time? Can they improve to 8-4 and really bolster those playoff chances? Well, win, lose, draw. As I always say, we got you covered. We also have an awesome interview with Lindsey Patterson dropping on Friday afternoon. If you're watching this, if it's already Saturday or Sunday before the game, we'll check it out. That's the next thing you need to watch. But great to always chat with you. We'll be at the game Sunday with our pregame report on Sunday morning and all of your postgame coverage as well. So for Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien. Give me the Bengals 38-34, in a tight one on Sunday at Paul Brown Stadium.